Just outside Port Alberni lies Mount Arrowsmith, a popular hiking spot gated by mosaic. But some might notice the pristine landscape isn't so pristine.
And as you can see behind me, there's a fairly large visible clear cut that is visible from the Alberni Highway 4 and the Alberni Visitor Center, which is quite dominant on the landscape.
He says while many are concerned about hiking access, his primary concern is far bigger. He says current logging practices increase the risk of drought and wildfire and can cause loss of biodiversity.
And it's not my opinion. Science has shown that extensive clear cuts with young, immature monoculture stands are at risk next to communities. So we have all of these concerns. We need to have these difficult conversations very soon.
Private managed forest lands cover almost a quarter of the island. Jen Holland is chairing an alliance of almost 30 grassroots organizations on the island and says the uniting factor is concern over how the land is managed. Holland says that while the mosaic gates present access and transparency issues, the recent recreation survey is a step in the right direction, and the bigger issue lies with what goes on behind the gates.
I hope that they are accountable and do actually release the results and recommendations and follow through on those recommendations in September. But it's more than just access.
Weaver is using his background in forestry for advocacy and is in one of the groups that make up the alliance, which is currently calling on the province to step up. He says private land has to abide by an act that was brought into place in 2003, and it needs an update.
Now that act on the spectrum of Logging Practices Act, and I can speak from my forestry background, it's really at the bottom.
The BC government reviewed the Private Managed Forest Land Act in 2019, and while a report was produced, both Weaver and Holland say no changes were made to the act following the review. The province says they are taking action to modernize the act, but did not share specifics. Claire Palmer, CBC News, Port Alberni.